Oppai Hunters.
Catarina Clays wakes up as a noble from an Otome game, but to her shock, she is the Villainess. Catarina forms a plan to befriend all of the characters in the game to prevent her demise. However, this plan isn't as easy as she thought it would be. Throughout her journey of preventing doom flags, she picks up several love interests along the way, causing her to have a reverse harem without her even knowing.
Story.
I found the story enjoyable in the first couple episodes where the characters were being established, but towards the middle of the anime, I felt like the story fell off a little bit, since I felt like these episodes had no real relevance to any of Catarina's relationships with any of the characters. Then at the end, the plot and conflict just came out of nowhere, and the pacing was way too fast, especially in the last episode. So the pacing was just the main downfall of the story for me.
I agree with Jules. It started off pretty well. I liked it. It was interesting to see somewhat development, or at least the introduction of characters. But it just started not really having a point a lot of the episodes, and it just didn't have any development with romance or characters really at all. Like Sophia probably had the most development, but that was still barely any. And then the ending / last episodes happened, and it sucked. It was not good. I didn't enjoy it whatsoever. It, like Jules said, it went very fast, and it was out of nowhere, and it just felt like they wanted to end off for some reason. And I don't know why, because I'd rather just have a cliffhanger, to be honest.
And the story of the series was supposed to revolve around Catarina in the game, trying to avoid her bad ending, but even though this plot point's in the title, it really became background detail, with most of the characters just living their lives, with Catarina just bringing up the doom flags in passing. But season 2 seems like it's heading in the direction where it'll focus solely on the romance aspect. But honestly, I feel like that should have been the focus from the start. And also touching on the romance, it really wasn't that well developed at all. Catarina was too dense to realize anyone's feelings, and even viewing it from the angle coming from the love interest, I feel like there wasn't much of a connection going on. Even as friends, I didn't feel much between the characters. And also another detail of the story is I feel like a lot of plot points either lose their importance or disappear throughout the series. Like Mary and Alan being engaged really didn't matter at all. And I also felt like Sophia, who had the most development as far as the supporting characters, I feel like the development they gave her was only relevant when they directly brought it into question. But there are moments where it seemed like she should have remembered things, but it just didn't go anywhere.
Characters.
So the characters sit in an awkward spot for me where I like the personalities, but they were severely underdeveloped in my opinion. The men were definitely worse off than the females, but it really feels like none of the characters besides Catarina were satisfactory. And as I said before, I didn't really feel much of a connection besides base level between Catarina and the rest. Yeah, every character just kind of feels like a supporting character when it really should be a group of main characters. Even if every character it doesn't feel like a main character, there should at least be some other than just Catarina, who is the main. And like I said before, Sophia had the potential. She had a lot of development, but yeah, I said it before, that development didn't matter unless they were directly talking about it.
The characters didn't, like Jason said, didn't really have much development. Even really Catarina, you didn't learn much about her except, she was an ordinary girl and then she died, and now she's a princess in a Otome game. And it was just disappointing because I was hoping to learn a lot about the characters and, see why their personalities are that way and such, but it just ended up not really having any development for anyone. Even Sophia, even though she had the most development, it still wasn't much. You didn't learn about her
connection with Catarina.
They were just kind of bland personalities with very little development, and kind of sucked because I was hoping to, like them and such. It was just disappointing.
Okay, I have a more positive view on the characters. I agree that they could have been developed way better, but I gotta say I liked most of the characters in this anime, especially the girls and Keith. The other boys didn't really connect with me, and Giordo just came off as really creepy, so I couldn't stand him. I really liked Catarina as the protag, but her denseness does get a little tiring as the anime progresses. Keith was super sweet and I loved him, but I absolutely do not pair him with Catarina, but definitely the most likable out of all of the boys. I like the girls pretty much all the same, but for different reasons, and my definitive rankings would be Catarina, Sophia, Mary, and Maria, and then for the guys it would be Keith, Alan, Nicole, and Giardo. But my pairing for Catarina, from what I've seen in the anime, would be Catarina and Maria, and I hope that gets developed into season 2, but I'm not holding my breath.
I also want to bring up how I feel like romantic interest kind of comes out of nowhere for some characters, like Nicole, and Alan was a little out of nowhere as well. There was one scene, but the anime kind of pushed it towards he already liked Catarina before the scene where I feel like that feeling would have grown from. And also the plot points that disappear or don't matter anymore. Nicole liked his sister at the beginning of the series, but that just disappeared, and now he has feelings for Catarina, so it's just all over the place at certain points of this anime.
Entertainment value.
I found it kind of entertaining in the start because it was nice to see like Catarina being so dense. It was pretty funny, but then it slowly got old because it's just like, how can one be so dense and stupid to someone's feelings or what they're saying? And it just kind of ruined it because they kept running with the same gag of her being dumb, and there wasn't really any big like entertainment things after that. So it wasn't the most entertaining, but it was still enjoyable to watch nonetheless.
I found the show quite enjoyable. I liked the sub and the dub, and I usually like harems that don't give away who the main love interest is right away. So I enjoyed it a lot in that regard. However, Catarina's denseness, like we've said so much already, just gets in the way, and it feels like she has no leaning towards anyone. And that frustrated me towards the end. Because I like when it's confusing at first who it's going to be, or like when you guess who it's going to be. But if there's no indication, it's kind of like, well, what's the point of watching if you're not going to figure out who it is? So I hope Catarina makes some type of choice in the second season. And my personal bias, I hope it's not Giordo.
Yeah, overall I would say I had a decent time watching the series. You two said that you enjoyed the beginning when we were learning about the characters, but I honestly felt it a little bit slow. But there was no part of the series that I actively disliked besides episode 12, which just went all over the place with that giant tonal shift. And even though I feel like the characters need more development, like I said in the previous section, I still enjoyed watching them go throughout their lives for the most part. I do think this stands in a similar place that Valkyrie Drive did, where if they took the story that they shoved into the last couple episodes and spread it out a little more, it would have done a lot better for me, especially since episode like 6 through 9 felt like fluff and really didn't do anything of substance.
Best girl.
Catarina's my pick for best girl. I really liked Catarina's friendly and kind personality. I liked that she was dense in the beginning, but like I've said, it got to a frustrating point. And I know she had to befriend the other characters to avoid the doom flags, but I felt like she built a genuine connection with all of them. And I see a bit of myself in Catarina being dense and liking romance games, romance stories, etc. Not to mention, Catarina is very gorgeous, so that definitely didn't hurt her place as my #1 girl. So I'm definitely looking forward to season 2 and seeing her develop more.
Yeah, I was very conflicted on this, and I still kind of am. I would say my top 2 would definitely be Mary and Catarina. Mary's pretty, and I like her sweet personality, but as I said, their characters just feel like they're missing something to really get me fully attached to them. And Catarina is also very attractive, has a nice personality, and has the bonus of having that little bit more of personality, but we're beating a dead horse at this point, but her denseness got in the way of me definitively putting her as my top pick. So I'm just going to leave it as a tie right now, but I definitely think that season 2 will give me that definitive answer.
My best girl is Sophia, and was always Sophia. I found her very cute from the start, and as I learned more about her little backstory, but still there, I liked her even more because she was so cute and so sweet, and obviously she loves Catarina so much, and I find it so adorable, and I have nothing I dislike about her. She's so great.
Final score.
I honestly feel like this might be the most conflicted I've been with the anime in recent memory, because even though I have the issues with the series that I've mentioned throughout this review, I still had a pretty good time watching it, because I like the world, I like the characters, they just need to do more with them. So I think my final score would just have to be a 7. I was thinking about giving it a 6, but I would say the series is good. And as I've mentioned before, I have a lot of hope for season 2 because the series has potential, and without the doom flag thing getting in the way, they can just focus on the romance, and that will bring the series a lot higher for me.
My rating for this anime is a 6 out of 10. It would have been an 8 out of 10 if the ending / last episodes weren't so rushed and just overall, in my opinion, horrible. It really ruined the experience for me. I'd rather just have a stupid filler ending rather than whatever they tried to do, since they're planning a season 2. I overall enjoyed it, just I wish the ending wasn't there, and I would be much happier.
In my opinion, this has been the hardest ranking decision for me yet. I enjoyed this anime a lot, but there were some very glaring flaws that just held it back. So I ultimately went with giving this anime a 7 out of 10. I really like the concept and the occasional harem, reverse harem. So I really like the inclusion of girls being in the reverse harem and seeming to have a genuine chance with Catarina. However, some of the episodes towards the middle of the anime felt really weak. And the last episode just felt like I got hit by a bus of plot traveling 1,000 miles an hour. I really hope the second season focuses on Catarina's relationships more and she realizes her friend's intentions with her. And I really hope she ends up with one of the girls, but what I really want from season 2 is to fill the relationship gaps. So I'm looking forward to it, but I definitely recommend this anime.
So that brings our official Oppai Hunter score to a 7 out of 10. We can all agree that despite the problems that this anime has, this was a very enjoyable experience for us, and there is great potential for the future, so we definitely recommend watching this. And that's going to do it for our review of My Next Life as a Villainess. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know what you thought of this anime and this review in the comment section below. And of course, if you enjoyed, hit the like button and subscribe for more Oppai Hunters content.